first video we were looking at the tomatoes in the tunnel. It's been a pretty bad year, not much sun. These should be really giving us a good harvest at the moment, but we're obviously probably a few weeks behind what we should be doing. Some nice crop, nice trusses forming along here, but really you have a short of sunlight this year, so I'd say we're definitely 3 weeks or more behind where we should be. We should really be cropping these a lot more. We have some red ones yet, but we're still probably another week or two away from prime harvesting season. A real abundance of flowers this year. Some of these cherry varieties here, they're absolutely drowning in flowers. Place is very weedy, so I will be giving it a quick weed. And we'll have a look at it after I've given it a good weed. Just look at the cucumbers this year. Again, huge number of flowers this year. We've had a good crop this year already. Even with the poor amount of sunlight we've had this year. It's looking like we will have a lot more fruit to come yet. Some marigolds interplanted in between them. Yeah, still producing away. Again, I will give these a bit of a tidy up, with a bit more air and a bit of the sunlight we have to reach them. So we'll have a look at them after I've weeded and we can talk about them. Alright, so I've done a bit of weeding there around the base of the plants. So our next job is to do a bit of defoliating. So we want to remove basically any leaves or foliage that is below a truss of fruit. Those leaves have done their job, so they're not needed anymore. So we need to allow the tomatoes full access to the bit of sunlight we have and get a good airflow around them, so they have the best chance of ripening. Also, of course, if it's pretty crowded at the bottom of the plant, there is a good chance of disease to get onto it. So we don't want that. So you can basically go mad. Once your foliage above the top trusses are still there, the plant will still keep growing. You want to, usually we grow them to maybe 6 to 7 trusses. So I think a lot of these have 5, so they can still grow another bit. Maybe get another 2 trusses up on top. And when they've grown tall enough, then we can pinch out the tops and get all the energy of the plant into those last few tomatoes. Also, you can pinch out or cut any these guys again as usual, the normal for tomatoes. So just keep clearing away. So we'll come back again when these are cleared. We'll have another look. So the usual, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I can produce a few more for you. Alright, so our tomatoes have had their trim, so very little leaves down below, and they're continuing to grow away and up. Some of these are actually nearly hitting the roof, so they can be pinched out on top. And we'll have our maybe 6 trusses of tomatoes up along, while others are still climbing away on the way up. We would probably give these a feed now as well. So just have a look at it. So this year we have been using a bit of Korean natural farming, and we've added IMO to the soil in the tunnel. It's been a poor year all round, but I definitely think the IMO has had a good influence on the soil. See, the soil here is still nice and organic and moist even. Usually at the end of the season, this tunnel, the soil really dries and compacts, but hasn't happened this year. I put that down to the IMO we have added to the soil. We obviously have the drip lines here. We don't water them hugely at this stage. Earlier in the year, obviously, when they're growing, we'd give them a good watering every day. But we kind of run them a bit dry, have the plant a bit under stress. I think you get a better crop. And if the soil is very moist and wet, you get a lot of weeds plus disease. So I think just having it a bit drier is better. Better crop, better plant, cleaner. Weekly then we would feed them with our own homemade comfrey feed. Earlier in the year we would have more of a mix of more nettle feed and seaweed feed, all homemade here in barrels. But when they come to the fruiting kind of stage, we really ramp up the comfrey part. So the feed we're giving them today now, It'll be a 10-to-1 mix, 9 water, 1 feed, and the actual feed is probably maybe 90% comfrey this time, and the remaining 10% would be maybe seaweed and nettle, whereas earlier in the year it would be probably 75 to 80% nettle, and the rest would be seaweed. There would be no comfrey. Comfrey is great. It is a natural, like tomato feed. It has potassium, brilliant for fruiting or flowering. So we are chemical free here. We don't use any chemicals. So it's ideal here. So I'll just give them a bit of a feed here now as we're going. So we have pots, old pots buried beside each plant. So our feed gets right into the roots. So that's how things are looking like with tomatoes at the moment. So like I said, not as good year as others, but still some nice tomatoes coming out. And also every few weeks we give it a feed of fish amino acids, which is another Korean natural farming input. It's made with basically fish heads and fish tails, some IMO and brown sugar. It's basically in a bucket for a few months. And the brown kind of viscous liquid that you get out of it then, it smells like cod liver oil. It looks like kind of cod liver oil. But it has nutrients that are very readily taken up by the plant, so we add that into the feed every few weeks as well. And the tomatoes seem to love it. We did much the same thing with the cucumbers as tomatoes. Defoliate all the bottom again. Cucumbers especially, as the season goes on, they have a tendency to get molds and fungus, and it usually comes from the bottom, so again removing the leaves gives them a bit of airflow, hopefully keeps disease away. So we're giving these a feed as well as comfrey again. These are cucamelon as well. We have a few plants growing with cucumbers. You can see a couple of fruit there. I have another plant in a pot. It's more developed. I'll just show you some of the fruit in it there afterwards. But, yeah. So to show you the cucamelon that's growing in a pot here, it's a bit more developed. You can see fruit is much bigger. These are ready to go really, isn't it? You grew this a few years ago, and once it starts producing, you get tons of them out of it. So hopefully the ones in the cucumbers will be just as good as these ones. So thanks for watching.